Right, so we've tried these two. There's a suggestion here to use Charset, default Charset. Let's try that. So put it in there. Let's run that. Okay, that doesn't help. So maybe we're originally on US ASCII. Alright, so then another suggestion, solution which convert with UTF-8 and edit type notepad ++, blah blah. I might do this. Okay, let's do that. Save it. Okay, just because we're editing the file. Save. Save. Alright, so let's try it now. Has it made any difference? Alright, that did not help in the slightest. So a couple of options here. Could try that encoding, and then it says here you can try opening text file and it will tell you encoding of file and menu. Okay. What is the encoding? Whoa, could that be the encoding? Wow. Okay, that's crazy. Okay. Alright. So let's just do that. Be easier to, yeah. Okay. So let's save. This as invoice lines.sql. Close it. Save it. Invoice lines.sql. Yes. And we'll do another one for invoices. Save as invoices.sql. Yes. Okay, so now we know it's UTF-8 encoding. Let's leave it like this, see what happens if it runs. No issues anymore. Okay, so it's running both query files and reading the query text. Great. So now what we want to do is not read the query. I'm just going to press Shift F12 to go there. We want to run the query. We actually want to run the query. So what we're going to do is got a routine here. And actually, I'm going to rename this, I think. Say, let's call this BQ stream. For now. Okay, so what this is doing is we're streaming local to BigQuery. We've got JSON path to our credential file. We're adding these scopes for BigQuery. We are reading our credentials. We're reading it from the file with the and creating the scopes, refreshing the token. Then we have got our dataset and table name. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to overload this method with the data set and the table name. And this is where we build our BigQuery client or service, setting our project with our credentials, got our table, get local SQL data, let's see what that is. Okay, yeah, this is where it's streaming, it's batching through our our query, batching it, and then it's getting the schema from the local connection, local SQL connection. Then it is building us an array list of the rows, and then it executes this query and then iterates through each line. It's doing some fancy batch stuff, and it's streaming the rows in that batch. And this here okay, yeah, now it's building the row over here, adding it to a list, and streaming that in. So stream all rows is here, passing in the BigQuery service client, the table ID, and the list of rows. It's setting the rows, which is this iterable rows to insert, and streaming everything straight in. Okay, great. So now we need to change this a little bit. So I think I'll overload this method as well. And what we'll do different here is we will pass in the query like that. Get rid of that. That should be good. Alright, so what we can do here is add in the query and put it over here. So use our query here, and that should be good. Awesomeness. So stream local to BigQuery. We are going to use this BigQuery stream local to BigQuery, and we're going to use it over here. So we BigQuery stream local to BigQuery, and these are our parameters. So what we need to do is the dataset name so file name must be equal to BigQuery table name, and the subfolder must equal the dataset name. So the subfolder name should be our dataset. So remember, we are passing that in here. So we're going to do subfolder name, table name, is the file name, which will be these ones, and we're going to be careful because it says .sql. So what we're going to do is we're going to go file dot, so it's actually a path tab to let's go to file. We could go get file name. It's going to give us a path. Get file name. Let's do, I know we did it up here. Get file name. We can go to file, get name. That's actually shorter. We don't need that. To file, get name. This is actually shorter. Just confirm it works. So before we do this, then our query is a string. So here we actually read the file. So what we can do here, let's say return query, and let's make it a string. I'll do a string builder equals new string builder, and we'll go sb.append line, and we'll go return sb.toString. So if we run this return query, so we'll go so this will be file operations dot return query, file operations dot return query. That's looking for a path. So we can confirm that this works by saying dataset is table name is query is, so we should be able to run that, and let's confirm that it works before we stream it. So if we run this, we're expecting to get the dataset being raw and then nothing, staging each of these table names, and then actually see the query text as well. And then what we can also do is let's do a new line between there. So if we run this, raw we got nothing, which is correct. Staging, dataset name is staging, table name is invoicelines.sql, query is that. And then we got dataset name is staging, table name is invoices.sql, and we got the query. So we just need to get rid of the .sql part to get the table name correct. So, but otherwise that's looking good. So we can go table name we can go substring. You can do substring or replace here. So we can go replace all .sql with nothing. Just do a new line. So make it a little bit neater. So we've got staging, table name is invoice lines. Here's the query. Dataset name is staging, table name is invoices, query is that. So that's fine, that's working. Getting rid of the .sql at the end over here, and yeah, so that's good. So what we can do now, we can do the streaming.